18 years later since release, the movie has gained a major turn of fan reception. At a time where it was found to be a major disappointment, it has now become loved by many, even meme culture. But the same can't exactly be stated for its tying game, as this didn't live up to the expectations the previous game put on this one. A downgraded web swinging system, an overabundance of QTEs, somewhat worse graphics than the first movie tying game, frustrating boss fights, among other issues. Remaking this game for current gen consoles would be quite a difficult task, but I know that it's one worth taking on. So here's my generous proposal. The swing in Spider-Man 3 is something that took a significant downfall from the previous title. I don't know why it changed so drastically, but now Spider-Man feels heavier and slower when web swinging, which is something no one wants in a Spidey game. So the web swinging system from Spider-Man 2 should return for this game, but with swing animations that are specific to the red suit and black suit respectively. When using the black suit, you have a different dive animation than when you use the classic one. This subtly separates the suits in nature. There was a scrapped combat system for this game that never made it to final release, one that shares a striking resemblance to that of the Batman Arkham games, more specifically in the aspect of bouncing from one enemy to another. Tomo Moriaki goes into further detail in this deep dive from the retrospective review by Always Nerdy. Button mashing is no longer an issue, as now the gameplay is more balanced. QTEs are
gone, reduced to atoms.
This remake finally gives you difficulty settings and an upgrade tree so that you can select which upgrade to purchase and see what it's about. There's now a move list that shows you the moves you can perform and the enemy's weaknesses. The Bruce Campbell voice lines from the PS2 and Wii versions of the game will return for the remake, as his lines are funnier here.
What would Spider-Man be without his spider powers? I'll tell you, he'd be Man. Is that what you came here to play? Man 3?
The rage mode for the black suit wouldn't give it a strange red outline, but instead when activated, black tendrils briefly appear. And to activate it, you can only click one button once instead of spamming it like before. The black suit increases damage, you can destroy motorcycles, hang enemies upside down from skyscrapers, grab an enemy by the neck, take him to the top of a very tall building and drop him on his head. Combat animations would be ruthless and his voice lines are more intense. There will be a toggle feature like in the PS2 and Wii versions of the game, where the more you use the black suit, the harder it gets to unbind, and if you use it enough times, Spider-Man passes out. Since in the movie he doesn't use tendrils, neither would he in the game. The slingshot is no longer limited to the Daily Bugle rooftop like in the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions, nor would it take you flying for almost a minute straight, removing all the fun and thrill of what it's supposed to be. Instead, you can slingshot anywhere, and certain points on the map have posts where you perform ultra slingshots. These give you the maximum amount of speed, take you highest and furthest. You can still shoot web balls from one hand while swinging from the other. Occasionally, you can trigger a form of web swing system where you constantly switch hands. The Spider Sense time slowdown feature will be reworked so that it doesn't deplete almost instantaneously when used correctly on multiple enemies. And there will be a Spider Sense icon over Spidey's head this time when there's an incoming attack. The lock-on feature from Spider-Man 2 will return for this game. I'd also bring back the dodge maneuver from the PS2 and Wii versions, as this allows you to roll to the side or dive towards an enemy to roll over them. Since the QTEs are not gone, in the mission where you're in the sewers, instead of being forced to do a QuickTime event to progress, you now swing over there yourself. If while you're swinging you decide you want to go back to where you came from, if you're within range of an object, you can jump on it, which you use to jump high, turn around in midair, and start swinging to where you were earlier. In the cutscene before the new Goblin boss fight, Peter doesn't do a useless backflip this time. The new Goblin boss fight will be a thrilling and dangerous citywide thrill. I know that almost no one, myself included, like the second phase of the Kraven boss fight where you fight him with a black suit. So this part will be reworked so that when Kraven's invisible, you can track him by seeing his footsteps in the water, giving away his position. It's still a challenging fight, but not to the point where you want to rip your hair out in frustration. Random, but the skydiving challenge gets eliminated as it adds nothing and isn't really fun. This game's story is a bit complicated to go over what to fix, and not all of its content was necessary, so here's what I would change. Since people complain about the movie being overstuffed with villains, I'd have the Arsenic Gang leader, the Dragon's Tail leader, and the Apocalypse Gang leader be side missions that aren't really part of the main story. But I would have the Lizard, Kraven, and Morbius missions be a part of the main campaign, as these ones are more significant. Eddie setting up a bunch of hidden cameras to get his stage shot on a photographer's salary is nonsensical. So instead, Black Suit Spider-Man just punches Eddie, breaks the camera, and then leaves. Eddie is left humiliated for this and begins holding a grudge against him. I'd keep the cutscene of the PS2 version where Jonah fires Eddie. To compensate for the major cut and how insignificant Harry is in the story, due to having only shown up twice, there will be a boss fight with him in his mansion, since it's already explorable. Sandman and Spider-Man basically had no connections in the game's story, so the boss fight doesn't even feel personal. There will be added dialogue to emphasize Peter's grudge with Flint. The symbiote removal cutscene was beyond lame, so I'd make it to where you have to remove it yourself. But it's incredibly difficult. Once you do, then it transitions into the next cutscene. Venom convinces Sandman to work with him by kidnapping his daughter. I still don't know how he knew about Penny or where to find her, but let's run with it, I guess. Peter witnesses what's happening in the news and swings over to the massive construction site. I found the ending of the game to be incredibly cheesy, so instead of getting a cheap cutscene where an officer brings Penny to Flint, instead it plays like it originally was supposed to be in the Raimi cut of the film, where Sandman is beating up Spider-Man, then he stops when he sees his family. Yes, the remake would address Harry's death. Somehow Spider-Man 3 ended up being the worst looking game in the trilogy, though being constructed in, at its time, next generation hardware. The colors were sucked dry, shadows didn't have enough contrast to the light, facial animations were not well made, janky body movements, and other issues. So this remake will not leave a fragment of the original visuals. Now it's completely overhauled. Color has been restored, HD textures are fully realized, animations are done from the ground up, as well as the character models. When Peter gets the black suit, his hairstyle is different after the Sandman fight, as well as his outfits. For Spider-Man, he's seen a massive upgrade. Now his proportions are movie accurate, the red and blue has colors that pop and contrast well to each other. Lenses are reflective, and the webs are raised, with the brick pattern on the blue sections being more subtle. The black suit has had a massive overhaul too, with the brick textures being raised with a shiny finish. Venom's design is the unused one from the promo arts that were seen in products for the movie. Harry's helmet is off in the final fight of the game, as he didn't wear it at the end of the movie. In the final battle, Spider-Man's suit gets battle damaged. The color grading would be the one that wasn't used in the final film. Buildings like the MetLife, Chrysler, and Empire State are reconstructed to be accurate to how they're seen in real life. While the day and night cycle doesn't return in this game, you get to choose which weather option you select. Just go to settings and click the time of day / weather you wish to play in. There's sunrise, day, afternoon, night, cloudy, light rain and heavy rain can be turned on for any time of day you decide to select. The game would run like the others, 4K 120 FPS. You can now choose a varied selection of suits. You get to choose the Human Spider, first movie suit, Alex Ross, both the one from the opening credits of the movie and his regular comic suit, the No Way Home suit, and the concept art version of the canceled Spider-Man 4 movie suit. Shout out to JT Bros on YouTube for commenting that last suggestion on my Spider-Man 2 video. This game desperately needs a major overhaul in its sounds, as the punches sound weak and the webs are not fully accurate to the movie. And Harry's sky stick sounds weak as well, so now its power source is redone to sound like in the film. Venom's voice wasn't all that great, as the gargling got annoying. The gargling is now gone. Now he's the menace he was meant to be, and his screeches are movie accurate. Cars are heard when you swing past them at high speed. Future me here. The script ended up being 3 pages long. It may not seem like that much, but that's because I typed out on computer this time, instead of handwriting it. Personally, I believe if this is how we got the game to be remade exactly today, I really think not as many people would dislike it. Would it be a perfect video game? No, but playing video games is about having fun, not really looking for perfection. If you're wondering if I'll make a pitch remake video on Spider-Man Friend or Foe, I won't be, because I thought about it and I don't really have many ideas for that one. All I really need is a graphic overhaul and remake character models, some of which I actually did get to draw. Here they are. Here's Spider-Man in his red and blue suit. It's based off of the cinematic cutscene in the opening of the game. Hence why he's now more colorful than he is in his base game model. Then I also drew a black suit Spider-Man. This time he has the accurate rim color, so it's silver instead of black, and his front logo is now accurate to the movie as well. Hopefully the camera doesn't make it look horrible in quality. And here's Venom. I really liked how this one ended up coming out. So yeah, there he is. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was quite the hassle to make. I didn't think it was going to be this much of a struggle. But here we are, a few weeks later. I hope it was worth it to you guys. It was definitely worth it for me. See you in the next one. Take care.